hypothesized that they could run the Shadow Fiend mid, but this is something that they're really comfortable on, the safe lane SF.
Yeah, they've run it 4 times, 3 times with Tree. They won all 3 with the Tree, and they even run it when they won it when they picked a Riki plus that SF. And right off to the bat, we're looking like perhaps a first blood on the TK.
Quick and easy. XCJ picks that one up.
Relentless, but yeah, really like the way that Knights has actually set up their draft. I'm a little concerned for Aries if the Brood isn't able to actually just dominate and start taking things over. I've seen a couple times now when I see these like, you know, triple Agi cores. Sure, Broodmother is a little different because he goes for these type of Greaves and stuff like that, but I'm just looking at their draft and it looks like they're going to have a really hard time trying to take any team fights versus the side of Knights, which has, I mean, everybody's a good team fighter, so. And not really, not super cooldown reliant either is the thing. Like the lineup of Knights can fight very fast, not really have to worry too much about any downtime. So yeah, let's see how Aries is able to withstand versus this pressure.
Yeah, as you can see, heading out, trying to secure these runes, it looks like it's going to be 2 apiece, I believe, as Knights heads back and pick up that other one. So the panel was pretty concerned about this Drow Undying lane, and with Earthshaker and Visage, you were sort of talking to me a little bit that you felt like you saw a different way they could maybe play it to help them deal with that high pressure that they're coming with.
Yeah, I mean, Undying always, he tends to be the king of the lanes for now, but the thing that they can do is they just reset the positioning of the lane, and Undying, one thing that he does lack at is trying to prevent pulls. So we already see Felix, he has boots picked up already on the Earthshaker, so you already know what type of game plan that he wants to do. Fissure block, catch waves, pull it, reset positioning of that lane so that his Visage can spam. That being said, though, Ulu should have a pretty good time of free farming. As long as he doesn't get killed, doesn't step up too far, then he should free farm.
Well, we'll see if they're able to do those pulls off indeed and get sort of a better lane equilibrium, already in a decent position down there on the bottom side of the map. We'll watch Alacrity facing off against White Album here. And as you mentioned, one of the big ones to watch is this Tree Shadow Fiend lane, which they have run, I think you said 3 times in a row, and they've won every time with it.
Yeah, and we're already seeing the creep manipulation from both sides. TK catching some waves, but XCJ, oh, he actually lost half the wave. Half of those creeps will be able to walk back toward the SF, so not going to be the best catch there from XCJ. Either way, though, we'll be able to get some type of last hits and denies. So we're going to see some funky lane stuff going on, and probably on both sides, as we see the Earthshaker starting to do his pulling down bottom. But looking at mid, I mean, the first 2 waves, White Album is crushing it, 8 and 5. I can't believe he got 5 denies on the first 2 waves.
Yeah, there was like a weird little misplay that Alacrity had when he tried to go for the run-through for the last hit, and White Album was just able to get in underneath it and make a deny happen. You're seeing right now the sort of attack animation of Alacrity not allowing him to connect in for these.
White Album just outplaying these first 3 waves. Super hard.
And that is definitely a great start for him. You know, so much is going to depend, obviously, on both of these heroes' ability to rotate in. And oh my god, just denies right in his face.
I've actually like almost never seen this type of start on an Ember. He did impress us massively the other day, even as an Ember versus the Shadow Fiend matchup. So White Album, he really came to play today.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we obviously had the long delays. There was a lot of talking going back and forth there in the lobby between the 2 teams, and I feel like, you know, maybe a little bit of extra desire here to get some punishment in the laning stage from White Album, possibly.
He's just hitting him.
Yeah.
It's working out really well. He's bullying out Alacrity as Alacrity forced to trample to try to get some CS, but White Album, he's trying to contest the CS even during that.
Yeah, and keeps on just beating him down here. Gonna run at him some more. Slight, and he has to back away, and another deny. Dude, 15 and 10.
This is, I mean, I've seen this matchup a couple times, but I've never seen it go this one-sided. This is insane, the way that White Album's able to put the pressure. With his Blightstone, thing about Primal Beast is your armor is a little bit low in the laning phase, so he's just really pushing the limits of putting that physical onto him. Really nicely done. And bottom, Drow is free farming. Starting to get some spam onto him, though.
Ulu is going to get caught there by the fissure. And you can see Felix just having to come in and deal with this. Is going to try and go for the courier snipe, but Ulu very well prepared for that. Just micros his courier back.
Felix can't step in much further. Might just go down.
That's one of those moments, too, where it's like you're so conditioned into carry players not taking care of their courier that you think they're just going to walk it back into them.
Yeah.
But obviously not going to happen that time. And across all the lanes
Mid
right
lane.
now, they're just completely owning him. Alacrity runs in, tries to get the rune, and will be able to.
Pop the glyph there, White Album, while the trample was popped just to prevent any type of CS. And Felix even coming in, I think they're probably saying, Alacrity's probably saying, my God, this guy's playing like a monster in mid lane. I need a little bit of help, so we'll be able to get those 2 water runes to help him out. But yeah, 26-11 to 11-2. Wow.
Yeah, it's not even close.
That is a very early Orb of Corrosion plus bottle. He might be able to still just keep punishing him, even though he doesn't have the bottle refill.
Right. It's going to need to be very careful when that level 6 comes around. But Ulu, now underneath and in the trees, is getting ran at a little bit by Flyby here. You can see that 19-4 versus the 10-3. They haven't been doing the wave pulls back behind the tower that we were anticipating.
Haven't been quite able to. Felix having to walk toward mid and stuff like that has disrupted his usual rotations. Alacrity almost getting aggressive there.
White Album is, in the meantime, getting closer and closer to this level 6. Pretty clean play overall right now from Aries.
Yeah, Red Panda holding on to Tombstone. They see an opportunity. Flyby did buy boots, so should be okay, but the levels are starting to really add up there. Drow is level 4, Red Panda level 3. Has to be careful how far he steps up on this Visage.
Well, some little spam there. The Grave Chill to get some distance away by Flyby. And they haven't been able to really put the hurt on at all with those soul assumptions.
The strength of Earthshaker tends to come out with level 3, where they're actually able to try to pressure. But yeah, so far, really well played there by Aster.Aries. Exactly how they need to play this early game. Top, we still see Ego free farming, but those other 2 lanes really dominant by Aster.Aries. Now we're seeing the rune rotation. Felix.
Oh my God, he gets there in time.
He might die for it, but has to take it away from the Ember.
Yeah, I mean, that's really important. Giving up his life for it. And you can see also things are going to start getting a little bit easier for Alacrity here. With 3 points of trample, you can just trample out that wave, and it's a lot harder for White Album to deny this if he wants to.
Yeah, he's just going to start spamming. But every time he gets the chains on him, does prevent a good amount of those last hits. He's going to miss. He missed, I think, 2 or 3 of them, even with that charge. He goes for the bottle refill.
Well played, well played. And gets level 6, same time as the Ember.
Okay. Pretty good, all things considered, with that last hit deficit. He's 700 gold behind, but does have the same levels.
Right. And the other thing is that, like...
Oh, he's making an early rotation. This is that Primal Beast move. Ulu.
Can he find anybody? Runs right on in.
The Gust.
Gust to stop it. They have the Tombstone down. And it looks like Alacrity is going to be able to combo together with it. The Pulverize is out. Get some good damage here onto Red Panda, but they can't really turn in anything else.
Limited mana on Flyby. He also, a little bit of mistargeting. He nukes the Drow instead of nuking the Undying, perhaps for an attempt. So a little bit of a failed rotation.
And a counter rotation coming in now from the Ember Spirit. 2 points in chains, and immediately Ego is going to retreat out of there.
He's level 7. The spam from the Slight is going to be overwhelming.
Yeah, and this is even before they get level 6 on Brood. XCJ backs out.
One more.
Does have the armor on him, but it won't be enough to keep him alive.
And now they're moving. I like what they're doing here too, moving away from the Brood to try to give him a little bit of those levels, because he's very close to 6, so he could actually just take tower if he gets it.
So this is the timing that, Kezu, the panel they were talking about, that can start to get really scary for Knights. I want to see how they deal with this, what type of rotations they go for. Felix comes mid. If they see an opening there, obviously a Pulverize with a Fissure could come out, but I think it's just secure the runes.
8 to 15 minute timing, like Kezu said. They do have some difficulties dealing with the Brood.
And
bottom.
Try and TP out of there. Not gonna happen. Flyby gets dropped.
Drow 6 now already. Haven't been able to put any pressure. Almost 6 on the Visage, but yeah, these lanes definitely going in favor of Aster.Aries. Even a DD now being picked up on White Album. This is scary for those side lanes.
Yeah, any rotation is just going to be death. And you can see that, over on the hard camp, Alacrity going to farm up these neutrals, try and get some items, try and get some levels. Red Panda and Felix, they're right on top of him.
Oh.
They decide to go into Red Panda here. He can drop the Tombstone up on the high ground. And it looks like that's going to be the extent of it. Is this enough to secure the tower?
Here comes White Album also with the DD. He wants a kill. He finds Alacrity.
Couple hits. Gets the pulverize. Try and turn this one. Will it be enough to keep him alive, though? Moves on in on top of the Ancients, but they won't be able to get the deny there. So White Album just on a tear here, 3-0.
He might just be able to take over this game. The way that he's been able to start, he's 1,500 gold ahead of the Primal Beast. Still bottom with the DD.
Yeah.
Might be able to get more.
And Flyby is still not level 6. He's getting burned down, getting tore apart.
Wow.
And the DD making swift work of both mid and offlaner.
3K gold lead already. This is insane the way that he's able to play. Just, yeah, Primal Beast, try to make rotations. First one fails, second one fails, gets ganked afterwards. Only has 30 last hits to his name.
The game is completely falling off the rails here, and Ego is going to get tossed back onto a spider. Does he have a way to get out of here?
He's got help.
Trying to get the spam out. Turns, throws out the avalanche, but that's going to be the extent of it. And, well, no. They move on in with alacrity, and Knights will get their feet back under him here.
This early game, though, total disaster for them, as White Album already has Javelin, level 9, full Slight Chains build, and he's even going to get another Power Rune.
It feels like right now Knights just trying to sort of reset things. Can they do it?
I think Felix is going to die. One more Slight. Yeah, he's gone.
Out of there.
Good God. Yeah, White Album might just be able to kind of essentially 1v5 to make the space for his Drow to frill free farm. This is insane play by him.
Yeah, and Flyby just hasn't been able to have a game.
No.
Those pulls that we're thinking might come out were never there. And
he's so poor as well. Yeah, this is crazy.
Trample to kill the creep wave, alacrity. They will manage to keep their mid-tier 1 tower alive for now, at least.
Even denying the catapult. White Album on an absolute tear. Gets himself a really nice neutral item too. Lance of Pursuit. After having Javelin, Corrosion, he's going to have his Maelstrom any moment now. And it does look very difficult for them to punish him, especially before Tree is 6. No overgrowth. He's just diving.
Yeah, the haste is there. The tombstone's down. XCJ does not stand a chance here. Wow. As they finish him off. Another kill for White Album.
6-0.
Now, if he ends up going down and overplaying his hand, he will get punished pretty hard with the gold and experience he's given away. But the question is that even likely to happen? They don't have that, like, super easy lockdown. It needs to be, like, some weird, you know, fissure into pulverize with, like, SF hitting at the same time or something.
Yeah, or that, like, with the birds coming in and trying to get some type of chain stun. But they have no forms of silence or anything like that. And yeah, Aries kicking up the pace. 2 towers, or all 3 towers, I believe, already dropped. And looking to continue invading. Top, Alacrity can't even find the grab onto the Brood. Could not ask for a better start here from the side of Aster.Aries with how this Ember has been able to play. And still dominating the map, taking the bounty runes, even looking for all of these power runes. We'll spawn bottom this time, so we'll get a little unlucky, but...
Tumbler's toy up to the high ground from Felix. He gets away. And 12 minutes in, 5,000 gold lead. These are the type of plays that you would want to see out of this lineup from Aster.Aries. But, you know, there is still tremendous team fight on the side of Knights if they can get together and make the move.
It's all spotted, though. Alacrity TP's bottom. There's a sneaky ward over on that side there that sees him again. So immediately, they're already rotating. They're bringing White Album.
Bringing a lot of heroes.
It gets scanned.
So, White Album in the area. That ward is also scouted. Has overgrowth ready. They have the silence down. Tree in trouble. XCJ. Tree armor. It's not going to be enough.
Good lord. Now White Album immediately in the mid lane. Okay, Ego's there. He'll have to give a bit more respect to it. But great read again, Aries. They see the movement coming, immediately start rotating. They'll find a D ward instantly too, and continue this free farm for the Drow, for the Ember. And the Brood is just having a field day up top.
Yeah, top of the net worth pretty much there. And roll in. This is big. The pulverize. Felix moving into position. The Echo Slam. That is the kill they needed. And Felix to get it means the Blink Dagger actually a possibility this game.
I like that he just commits it. Perhaps they could maybe get him without it, but no funny business. They don't want him to get away off like some little bit of a misplay, so find themselves a small window here, small footing back into the game.
Actually, do you think it might be better this game for Felix to go for the Shard instead? I feel like they might need that, like, sort of control from distance sooner rather than later.
All depends on how the game, like if he gets another killer, so he'll probably just queue up the Blink Dagger, right? Because then he's just going to have to get at that speed. If he dies, then he might just queue up the Shard and just go for playing from a distance. As here comes White Album.
Yeah, wants a little bit of retribution there, and they move on in with the birds. Felix tries to get away, but not going to happen. It's a pretty rough game when your Ember is just completely out of control like this.
Yeah, level 10, takes the damage talent, doesn't even have Flame Guard, playing about all this physical damage on top of having a Maelstrom so early. This is a spectacular start for them. That being said, though, Ego, he's not so far behind, but the other two cores, they're really suffering.
Yeah.
It's going to take them quite a long time to be able to catch up.
Ego's definitely been the one that's sort of, keeping hope alive a little bit right now for him because, I mean, on the side of Alacrity and Flyby, the game just feels so impossible to have any type of regular presence you would see from him.
Yeah, and it's not easy for these Primal Beasts sometimes. Sure, he might be into a couple limited stuns, but this Gust, right? The Drow can always just telegraph, get that Gust silence, and eventually itemize also into Hurricane Pike, which actually he already has, so you see that charge coming. If you get any vision of him, you can just Hurricane Pike him, stop the charge as well, so multiple different ways to protect yourself.
It definitely feels like this is going to be a game that's up to the Earthshaker and the Primal Beast to sort of pull them back into it while Ego's farming.
He did buy the Shard, by the way, so Felix opting for that one.
Yeah, a lot of kill potential with this combo now. With the control that you're going to get out of just an Enchant Totem Aftershock, we saw how quick the damage comes out from the Primal Beast.
Does mean, though, initiations will be quite a bit harder because the Primal, as we said, they have the kind of the counters to be able to deal with him. TK, he's about to have Blink Dagger. He actually has it done, so Aries, they're doing Roche, they're getting Blink on the Tiny. They're playing so clean this game.
Yeah, they're getting everything that they need done. Red Panda pops the ultimate, and, well, Ulu, he also, with the Hurricane Pike completed, is queuing up the Aghanim Shard immediately afterwards. White Album now completely free to do what he wants.
Oh my god, yeah. Age is on him now, too. Oh, did not see it? He walked right past an Arcane Rune. That would also be a dream for him. He's gotten such good runes this game. The DD, the Haste. Now, that Arcane.
He's going to go back and bottle that one up. So, we'll see after the first Tier 1 tower gets taken for the side of Knights, how they're going to deal with this.
TK's in.
But interrupts it. And gets out the uproar. Alacrity able to find a little bit of space for himself.
Almost gets killed, though. Almost just gets tossed back into them and then gets brought down. Has Felix, of course, there to protect him. As White Album has all the freedom in the world. TP's bottom to stop this push that's going from the tree a bit and from that Visage.
Again, Ego farming very well. Just took a double stack of Ancients, then cleared out another round of it. But it's always going to be Ulu and White Album that are just a little bit ahead of him.
Yeah.
Because of that great start that they got. And White Album going for the BKB next.
Wants to just be able to commit all the way fully on top of this SF and not worry about some Requiem stun combo. As Ego, he has to go for BKB first on the SF this game, and the problem is, versus the lineup of Aster.Aries, they have great ways to poke and force BKB. They have the Tiny Ava combo with that slight thing, even a multi-shot. Ego might just pop BKB and die anyway, right afterwards, so really strong way to poke and prod an SF.
Glyph in the wave there, trying to stop Alacrity from being able to cut it in the mid lane, but Aries, they're going to take this Tier 2 tower up on the top side of the map. Now, well, Felix, he runs right into White Album. Avalanche to interrupt, and yeah, this is going to be a dead Ember, or rather Earth Spirit. Oh. He's out there.
Fear not your death.
Goodbye, Earthshaker.
That's
I got you.
so many ESs.
Yeah, finding their footing. 10-3, 7K lead, invading and dominating the map. Their ward coverage is also excellent. So much information they have, and they just keep finding heroes on Knights.
Pulverize, but yeah, he's rooted and does have try to get out of there. No, interrupted. No way out with the onslaught.
They will get bottom tower out of it, but at the same time, the Drow and that Broodmother push just that much faster.
7,000 gold lead into the favor of Aster.Aries. At 18 minutes, you can see still not like complete and totally into their favor. 81%, pretty freaking high.
They've just had such a flawless early game, and it's mostly off the back of this Ember Spirit. 9-1-1. 10 of those 11 kills that they've had have been because of him with his rotations and him just really dominating that mid matchup.
Yeah.
It's pretty crazy how he's able to do that versus Alacrity, who's had some really good showings.
Oh, absolutely. And, you know, they're setting themselves up for success here. It's what you want to see after such a great start. Look at him, 14,000 damage done. More than
Almost the entire enemy team. And yeah, now he's got not only just that Aegis, but his BKB is finished, so he's going to be able to play even more reckless, even more chaotically, which has been working perfectly for him.
And they're waiting for their next set of items on the side of Knights. BKB for Primal Beast a ways away. Almost have BKB completed on the SF. And then, of course, it's the Greaves that Visage is looking for. Still very far away from that one.
Alacrity. Looks like he's just charging to farm. As Ulu, he walks right into him, but all right, BKB in 20 gold, but they have a blink on XCJ, so it looks like they're actually attempting to make some type of movement here. There is still that Ember Spirit with an Aegis, not the target that they want to go for, so they're just going to go straight toward top Ulu.
This would be a big pick-off for him. This would be a huge one. Now, Ulu's still showing on this creep wave, too, and he is going to realize too late. I think he is in trouble. Jason! Oh, he gets just a second away. Oh my God. Oh, that's gotta hurt for Knights. That's gotta hurt.
I think maybe I think something showed over the. I know there was smoke, but I think maybe the familiars or something weren't, because he was perfect when he TP'd out instead of finishing off those creeps. An inch from getting caught in the charge.
And now TK, they're right on him. Echo Slam, but the BKB was there from White Album, so they kill off one. Exchange for Felix, but thinking about the overgrowth right now. Red Panda right on top of it with the bird drops. XEJ under fire. Managed to get out of there on the Shadow Fiend. The rest of Knights just trying to escape, but they won't be able to. So the only two left alive are the Primal and the SF.
Such a quick move from Aries. They see that smoke fail. They go to cut off that retreat from it, Knights, and they get it perfectly. Ego forced to pop his BKB, but BKB and run. Can't stand and fight versus this Ember as White Album. He wants him.
Going for more. It's a little bit deep right there. Now, this is where the double glyph that they can have if they decide to stick around for the tower will actually come into play. I don't think they get this whole set for free.
They're pushing for it, though. They're really trying to commit. Keeping vision for the Drow. Catapult's still alive. Starting to drop.
You have to be careful on White Album here. He doesn't have BKB, and also no more Aegis, obviously. But still
Alacrity's in.
Feeling confident with himself. Alacrity runs on in there. A really big gust to try and turn it. Pops his BKB, flyby very low. They try and get the pulverized kill onto Red Panda, but he is very healthy. And now Alacrity just has to run away from there.
Not the connection he wanted with his BKB. He gets controlled before he actually gets it off and nearly drops. And now the push continuing. They really want to take this tower out before Living Armor is able to heal it.
They don't have a creep wave yet, but it is coming in right now.
They should be able to get it.
Tower down.
They're continuing.
Now there is another glyph here. Felix connects. They have BKB back up on SF now. Still 50 seconds until the Primals is up. Likewise, White Album finished off, and his BKB is ready to go. They're going to use another glyph now. It feels like if they want to defend this melee racks, they have to go now. Again, no BKB on Alacrity, though. It's incredibly tough. White Album jumps in. They find him. The control was there. Felix going to go down, and Ulu, he gets the push away.
White Album.
Alacrity's in trouble. White Album, he gets out. One more hit, trying to dodge, trying to go for the kill. Felix trying to finish him off, and the fissure's enough. So they do bring down White Album. It comes at a cost. With no more Alacrity left, Ego thought about popping the ulti, but can't go for it. And TK just jumps in. Abba, toss. Has he gone too far himself? It doesn't look like it. Without Felix, there's no punish.
22-minute melee racks, though. They got what they came for. White Album pushes it a little too far, but he made the space, and they're still continuing this push.
Taking down another tier 2 tower.
They're going more.
With the dieback on Earthshaker, there just isn't that punish. Like, how do you take a fight with an SF Visage?
Yeah, and they have the Greaves up, too, so they can just keep healing everybody up. Anyone who steps up might just get tossed back again. TK?
Looks for it, finds him there.
Whoops.
It's gonna be a gust out. And the Greaves, Alacrity rolls through, actually. Finds Ulu, but the BKB was there. They pop the ulti from SF, take down that tombstone. The Pulverize is going to connect now onto TK, so they will bring down that Tiny. Maybe going a bit too far on the side of Aster.Aries.
But they can't catch the Drow. She's able to reset, so is the Brood. The cores are fine. The support gives their life, but it's just fine. Yeah, this is a picture-perfect game plan still for Aster.Aries. 12k lead. Ego has to be careful. Pretty much anyone on the side of Knights just has to be really cautious. Even when they pop BKBs, that straight physical damage that's coming out is overwhelming for them.
Yeah, they're still so farmed on these heroes. And like Greaves, they're going to build into a Hex next for Broodmother. Feels like they're hitting these item timings that they need to keep this momentum into their favor.
Alacri's just been able to have pretty much no game because of how that lane resulted in those 2 failed rotations that just got turned onto him. He's so far behind. Blink now on the Shaker.
Actually, looking at the gold on Undying, and he's actually getting towards a Vlad's now.
Okay, cool.
I mean, they are incredibly farmed. He's almost caught up to Alacrity.
All the towers and everything they've been able to get, the racks this early too. It's that injection of gold even onto supports.
Right.
Not healing the tower right now, waiting to see where XCJ uses his next armors. Bot tower is still low.
Well, it feels like this next Roche is a must for Knights if they want to find a way back into this game. Because if Ares get another Aegis, it's curtains then. And for Ares, you can see the emphasis put on it. Putting wards in this area, sending out the spiders, not giving up the high ground.
They have to find some type of opportunity to land their ults all in unison and somehow get onto this Drow, get onto this Ember when they don't have BKB. It's a tall ask.
Well, they do have the hero for it in some capacity with Felix Blink Dagger done on this Earthshaker.
Yeah, looking to catch them off guard. Do they have any vision here? All of Ares perfectly set up.
They need something huge.
CJ.
And they find TK to start. Initiate onto him with Alacrity. Still waiting for that moment to group together and find the kill. TK there.
How's he still alive?
Wow, starting to beat him down. Felix, he can't find a way into this fight. And White Album breaking the Blink Dagger right on top of him. Dodges the Echo Slam with the BKB. And just picture perfect play coming from Ares.
They can't even kill TK.
Yeah. A game is way too hard at this point. There's such a net worth lead.
Probably the worst hero they could run into to go for that pickoff. It's a support Tiny, but he's got level 2 grow, so has incredible amounts of armor, and then Brood comes in, grieves him, pipes him, they don't have damage, and now Roche next on the menu.
Right as Red Panda was going to leave the place as well. Yeah, the Greaves come in there, the pipe, so many teamfight items, and then Drow just able to plink away in the back line.
Yeah, perfect positioning from Ulu there.
You can see Felix up on the top side. Wanted to make something happen onto White Album, but it just wasn't going to happen.
White Album is a absolute beast on this Ember Spirit. He's done it. He's made some really tricky stuff, some really fancy plays before, even when he played versus an SF matchup, but I underestimated how godly he really was going to be this game.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it sort of was going to come down to. And I mean, you know, I think that we've seen Alacrity have good games before. This time around, definitely struggling. And I mean, you can see he's going for the Blink Dagger next. With Blink BKB, maybe he can find the Drow at that point, but Ulu's just not presented himself as a target. Now with the Aegis, you don't even want to go on this guy.
No, and he's level 18.
Yeah.
Level 18 with Aegis, with the Grove Bow too, sitting so far in the back. Interesting skill build too, if you notice. He did put a bunch of points in stats.
Oh yeah.
And has just 3 points in Gust and 3 points in Multi-Shot. I don't think I've ever seen that.
Have not been able to find a good fight for themselves on Knights.
Oh god, the damage already at this point.
Panel was talking about the Echo Slams on the Spiders. We haven't seen it yet. The only Echo Slam hit on an Ember. And the second one that didn't.
Haven't seen Knights been able to get much successful fights, much successful initiations because, yeah, this disruptive start, this Ember, really is just such a problem.
17,000 gold lead now, and the tower going to fall.
The siege is working. They've got the tombstone down now for vision too.
Slow and steady goes the spam. They're gonna take down this tombstone in a second here, but it gets, well, refreshed again. Kill off the Visage Familiars. Still can't fight into it. The jump in, they find one. Do they have the damage though? Ava toss from TK. Felix gonna get jumped at again. White Album just has it out for him. The overgrowth, it comes too late. And Knights, they have no answers now. No buyback on this Earthshaker. They are going to run it down the mid lane after they need to. They pop the Requiem Souls, but Red Panda, he's still so tanky in this. They jump in with Album, fine, Ego, force staff him in, going to drop.
Wow.
And I think that's going to be about all she wrote. GG is the call.
Holy moly. What an explosive game one. That is an excellent start there for Aries. White Album, honestly, holy crap. That last pick, Ember, he felt like he did everything, right? Shut down the mid lane, made a successful run.